Hey, what is going on, Guardians? Nem with Planet Destiny here, and it's Friday. Xur is back in the world of Destiny, and this week he is located on Io, over here by the giant Scar, in his neat little cave. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what he's got this week in his inventory of exotics. All right, we have we got the we have the Coldheart, the Trace Rifle, the Graviton Forfeit for the Hunters, Helm of Saint 14 for the Titans, and for the Warlocks, he has the Vesper of Radius. Now let's go ahead and take a look at these weapons here. Now the Coldheart is actually a fantastic, it's a fantastic weapon. I'm sure by now everybody knows what the Coldheart is and, you know, where it's really useful. This is a fantastic gun to take into the raid. Well, it actually used to be like one of the top weapons to use for DPS. Of course, with the introduction of Lunafaction boots, that's clearly changed. But yeah, so the Trace Rifle is one of the more unique weapon archetypes in Destiny 2. With its intrinsic perk called Cold Fusion, this weapon shoots a steady cold fusion powered laser, which in reality it's an arc laser, so you know, but it's nice to pretend. Followed by that, we have the Longest Winter trait. Coldheart's laser does exponentially more damage the longer it remains on a target, which is what made it one of the more better weapons to use on Callus, because, you know, he has a pretty big hitbox when it came to like his chest portion, and yeah, it was a really good weapon. I can't imagine, you know, people right now don't have this weapon yet, but if you're one of the newer players just getting into Destiny 2, I really recommend picking this one up. It's a fantastic piece of gear to use. Followed by that, for the Hunters, we have the Graviton Forfeit. As I've mentioned before, this is a exotic that is returning from Destiny 1 with the intrinsic perk Reading. Increases the duration of any invisibility effects. Your melee recharges faster while you are invisible. Now, I can't remember if this helmet does stack with the invisibility from the Rat King. I can imagine it does, because it does say any invisibility effects. So this is actually really fun to use. I used to run this a lot, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I used to run this a lot with both the Legend of Acreus and Tractor Cannon in PvP. It just made it a lot of fun. It's super trolly. Expect to get, you know, some rather nasty messages, but yeah, I recommend getting this guy just because it's, you know, it's a decent exotic to use. Of course, with the introduction of the Worm Husk Crown, obviously that's overshadowed pretty much every other hunter exotic in the Crucible right now. But if you don't have this, I suggest adding this bad boy to your collection. Now, following that, we have the Helm of Saint 14 for Titans with its intrinsic perk called the Starless Knight. Now, your Ward of Dawn blinds enemies that enter it. Guarding with Sentinel Shield temporarily blinds nearby enemies. Now, this again, this is a returning exotic from Destiny 1 introduced in Curse of Osiris. The radius that you need to be to actually blind somebody when you block, it's not the greatest, so I really wouldn't rely on that. But this is actually a really good helmet if you're trying to hold down a point, either in control or countdown, or if in PvE you're trying to protect, you know, one of like the public event zones, like for example the one that you get here in Io, where you have to defend the conflux. Fantastic, and it looks really pretty. It's a great piece of gear. You know, of course, the Titan does have other exotics that certainly excel in a vast majority of activities, but I would highly recommend picking this bad boy up as well. Now, the Vesper of Radius for the Warlocks, with their intrinsic perk Reading Planetary Torrent, Rifts release an arc shockwave when cast, and Rift energy recharges faster when you're surrounded by enemies. Now, I'm going to be honest here, I don't really play a whole lot of Stormcaller. I'm actually going to start trying to play a little bit more Stormcaller with the upcoming new Super and the updated Crown of Tempest that we recently got just to kind of play around with it. So I can't really speak too much for this particular exotic. It doesn't sound like it would be that impactful when, you know, when at least in terms of Rifts release an arc shockwave when cast. I can imagine the Rift energy recharging faster when you're surrounded by enemies would be, you know, somewhat helpful if you're running a healing Rift. But honestly, with the Lunafaction boots being a thing, you know, that's the to-go exotic to use if you want to do anything related to your Rift, given it that it gives you automatic, you know, reload to your weapons. Like it's a no-brainer. But again, if you are intending on getting the Faded Engram, I highly suggest picking it up before you get the Engram, just in case it, you know, that way it won't drop from it. Now, you know, we have your usual 3 of coins and 5 of swords, which if you haven't picked this up, I really recommend doing so for additional Nightfall modifiers if you're going either for a top tier score or if you're just trying to run through by it quick enough. You just, you know, slap on a Singe and Heavyweight and, you know, have at it. Now, I believe my final exotic that I need for my hunter is the Ophidia Spade. There's absolutely no reason why it should not drop from this engram, so let's go ahead and acquire this, and if it's a duplicate, I'm going to be upset. And we got the Ophidia Spade. Beautiful. All right, let's just take a quick look at that since we got it here. The Ophidia Spade with Scissor Fingers grants 2 knives per charge. I'm actually going to have a lot of fun with this. I typically run Golden Gun with my hunter. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, that's going to be it, Guardians. Thank you so much for watching today's Xur video. My name has been Nem. Now stay tuned to Planet Destiny for any other Destiny 2 related information. We have some pretty big stuff, you know, in the works. We have a few things, a change of format. We do intend on bringing back the weekly night fails, so stay tuned for that. Either Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to being a part of that. And yeah, we got for you YouTube folk as well, we got a special format with the podcast coming up. We're going to do some interesting things with that as well. But that's going to be it for me today, Guardians. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to be informed of whenever the next Planet Destiny video goes live, feel free to click the little bell down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.